Hey guys, today we're on Module 13, Lesson 4. We're on page 339 in your math workbooks, 339. And today's objective is to find the measure of an angle by using its fractional part of a circle. So we're looking at the fractional parts of a circle. Spark your learning. Based on what you know about the measurement of the shaded piece of the circle, so the orange piece, based on what you know of the shaded piece of the circle, how can you describe the measurement of the circle? We know that the orange piece is 1/4. So if I was going to cut this circle into the correct fractional pieces, I would have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. So they want me to know, how can you describe the measurement of the circle? So I could say that orange is 1/4, but we have 4 1/4 pieces. So I could say 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals to 4 fourths. And you know that's 1 whole. So the measurement of the circle is 4 fourths. We would add it all together. So the measurement of the circle is 4 fourths. So that was pretty easy. On the next page, we're going to look at the vocabulary at the top. So it says, connect to vocabulary. Angles are measured with reference to a circle as they turn around a center point. So if we're going to have a circle, let me give you an example. So if this was my angle and that is my unit angle, I would turn. So that would be my first turn. This would be my second turn, third, fourth, that's a big difference, fifth, and so on. So as it turns, it's going that way. So angles are measured with reference to the circle as they turn around a center point. The size of the angle is the measure of how far one side is turned from the other side. Angles are measured in units called degrees. The symbol for degrees is that little circle. That's really hard to find on the computer. So let's look at this. Number 1, circles can be divided into measurement units called degrees. How can you relate the fractional terms of a circle to degrees? So how can you write a fraction to represent the quarter turns of a circle? So thinking back to that first picture, so the picture on the first page, if we had a quarter turn, remember quarter is 1/4, and we start here, that's 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns. It says blank is a quarter turn. So 1/4, this first piece is 1/4 turn. Okay? So 1/4. If we turn it again, 2 turns will be 2 fourths, right? 2 fourths, that's halfway around. 2 fourths is 2 quarter turns. Maybe I should make this look prettier for y'all. So 1/4. This one is 2 fourths. Third quarter turns, we go to the next one, that would be 3 fourths. So 3 fourths, and we turn again, this would be 4 fourths. So 4 fourths, that's 4/4. So it would take 4 quarter turns to make a full circle. 4 quarter turns to make a full turn on a circle. Letter B, how can you show the number of 8 turns? So if we had 8, and I'm not very good at drawing circles with fractions in it, so that's fourths. If I draw 8, so I put a square in it, so that's 8 pieces. So how can you show the number of 8 turns it takes to make a full turn on a circle? So if we count our 8s, so here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we went, around like that. So how many would it be? It would take 8 turns. 8 turns. We would spin the circle 8 times. C, how many 1/20th turns would it take to make a full turn around the circle? And I cannot draw 1/20th. So that would be a tiny little sliver. How many times would you have to turn it? Think of it as a spinner. So if this was a spinner and it spun around, it could go around 8 times because we have 8 pieces. Well, if we have 120 pieces, how many times do you think it could go around the circle? There's 120 pieces. You could go around 120 times. All right, so D, how many 360 turns would it take to make a full turn around a circle? So if you have a circle and it has 360 pieces, and it kind of shows it right here in this picture. So 1 out of 360 is a very, 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 very small piece. So it could go around 360 times. Think of a circle divided into 360 equal parts. An angle that turns 1 in 360 of a circle measures 1 degree. Okay? E, how can you use degrees to describe the measurement angle that has 8 360 turns? Oh, I missed. So it's right there. E, how can you use degrees to describe the measure of an angle that has 8 100, so it would be 8 of these little slivers like this. I can't even do 8. So 8 of the 360, it would be 8 turns. 8 degrees. Or we can write 8 degrees. On the next page. There's a lot to today's lesson. So number 2, looking at that circle, we have 1/9 right here. Drafters, a drafter is like an architect. A drafter is somebody that would draw pictures. Drafters prepare technical drawings for all kinds of designs. A drafter draws this fractional part of a circle for a project. How can you find the measure of the angle in degrees? So if we were looking at this and it's 1/9, it would take 9 of those pieces to fill the circle. So what could we do? We could write an equivalent fraction to find the number of degrees out of 360 that is equivalent to 1/9. So we could write an equivalent fraction to find the number of degrees, that is equivalent to 1/9. So basically, this whole circle is 360 degrees. 360 degrees. And if we had 9 pieces, we're really saying 360 divided by 9. Or we could say 9 times what number equals to 360. So we want to find the number multiplied by 9. So we want to find the number multiplied by 9. How can you write 1/9 as an equivalent fraction? Find the number multiplied by 9 that equals 360. So we want to do, thinking back to the beginning of the year, we want to say 9 times what number equals 36? 9 times what number equals 360? Because we can solve it by adding it by 10. So 9 times what's 36, guys? 9 times 4 equals 36. So 9 times 40, think of that 0. 9 times 40 equals 360. So this degree up here, this is 40 degrees. And if we said 40 times those 9 fraction parts, 40 times 9, we would get 360 degrees. So each one of those unit fractions would be 40 degrees. So the measure of the angle is 40 degrees. Okay, so 9 times what equals 36? 9 times 10 of that, so 4 times 10 is 40. So 9 times 40 is 360. Okay, let's look at the bottom. We're going to talk about different types of angles, and I have used this vocabulary in other videos. You should be familiar with these types of angles. You would have learned them in 3rd grade. An acute angle is an angle that it measures greater than 0 and less than 90 degrees. So I'm going to draw a little picture of an acute angle. It's less than 90 degrees. It's small. When we think of acute, it's acute. It's small and cute. So a right angle is an angle that measures 90 degrees. So think of the corners of your paper. We typically see that little box in there that lets us know it's a 90-degree angle. An obtuse angle, obtuse is big and fat. An obtuse angle is an angle that measures greater than 90 degrees and less than 180. So an obtuse angle would look something like this. So big angles, less than 180 degrees. A straight angle is an angle that measures 180 degrees. So this right here is 180 degrees. A straight line. It's a straight angle, it's like a straight line. Reflex is an angle that measures greater than 180 degrees. So it would be something like this, but we're not measuring the inside, we're measuring out here, okay? Let me try this again. So a reflex is an angle that measures larger than 180 degrees. So we're measuring out here, okay? So let's look at number 3. If you want to go ahead and start plugging those in, then you can figure out, and then we'll go over it. So if you want to look at number 3, start guessing which one's the acute, right, obtuse, straight, and reflex, then we'll talk about it. All right. So let's look at these. This first one right here, 65 degrees. This is an acute angle. Acute is less than 90 degrees, but more than 0. The next one is a right angle. This one, it's 175. That is not a straight angle. Straight angle has to be 180. So this one right here, this is a straight angle. But the one that's 170 degrees, 175, this one is obtuse. It's a fat angle. It's obtuse. And then this one right here, where they've measured the outside part, that's 240 degrees. That's a big, huge, huge, huge angle. That one is a reflex angle. Reflex angle. And you'll see this vocabulary a lot when we talk about angles. On the next page, we're still not finished, guys. Almost done. At the top of page 342, we're going to look at this picture. So it looks like a dartboard or something. It says, architects often use circles when describing buildings. How can you find the measure of an angle from the fractional part of the circle formed by the window? So this is a window. So find the measure of an angle formed by the fractional part of the window. So right here you can see they've kind of cut this piece out right here. So we're talking about that fractional part. All right, A, to estimate, describe the angle. What kind of angle is that? Is it an acute, right, obtuse? It is an acute angle. It's acute. We can look at that and we know it's less than 90 degrees. All right, B, determine the fraction of a circle that any one angle turns. So let's count. How many pieces are in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it could turn 12 times. So it is going to be 1/12. And probably write your fractions like this. 1/12. C, write an equivalent fraction to find the measure of an angle in degrees. And we know it's 1/12. So 1/12 right there. And we want to multiply it by some number. So 12 times something equals 360. Well, I know that 12 times something equals 36. So 12 times 3 equals 36. So I know that 12 times 30 equals 360. So if I can solve that basic fact of 12 times 3 equals 36, I can solve 12 times 30 is 360. So I'm going to multiply the top by 30, the bottom by 30. So 12 times 30 is 360, 1 times 30 is 30. So we know that this little angle right here, we can tell the degrees on it. So the measure of the angle from the fractional part of the circle formed by the window is 30 degrees. So we know that this right here is 30 degrees. Each one of these is 30 degrees. And if you were to add 30 up 12 times, 30 times 12 is 360. All right, at the bottom of the page for check understanding on page 342, I want you to do number 1 and 2 on your own. Pause the video, complete 1 and 2, and then we'll go over it. All right, so number 1, write the measure of the shaded angle in degrees. So if we have 1/2, we can tell right here that this is a certain type of angle. It is a straight angle. A straight angle is how many degrees? 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So this side would be 180. And this side would be 180. 180 plus 180 equals 360. Number 2, classify the angle. Write acute, right, obtuse, straight, or reflex. If it's 200 degrees, it is a reflex angle. So it's measuring this outside part. Reflex. And guys, that is it for today.